This is Brass and I'd like to talk about the really incredible and unprecedented censorship campaign that has been launched against anybody who wants to discuss or question the safety and efficacy of the products of the vaccine industry. And let's be clear about this. This is not questioning vaccination or immunization or science or anything about that. We're talking about products, and we're talking about an industry. And there are billions of dollars behind this industry. So that's what's going on. And it is now, in effect, banned to discuss these things. If you have a Facebook group of parents, your Facebook book is gone. Your Facebook book account is gone, or it has been relegated to the shadows. If you're searching on Google for vaccines, you're going to get nothing but happy talk as your search results. If you're a person with a book or a film, Amazon has taken your book and film off. So how did this happen? Well, first let's look at the non-science here. The vaccination industry is allowed to produce products for sale that have not been adequately tested. Okay? Even these garbage drugs that Big Pharma produces, those are actually tested. I mean, they're tested in a very corrupt, dishonest manner, an unscientific manner, but at least they go through some significant gyrations to at least pretend to test them. Vaccines are exempt from that kind of testing. That's fact number one. Fact number two, product liability. All products have problems. All products need to be watched. I mean, vaccines, no. They are immune from product liability. If a child is injured, crippled for life by a faulty vaccine, you do not have the ability to go and sue. You have to go to some kind of special government court. So what kind of industry is exempt from testing rules and immune from product liability? Well, an industry that has bought all the congressmen and congresswomen. I watched the hearing that ran a couple of, maybe 10 days ago now, and all it was idiot Congress people without any scientific training or medical training at all reading. And then I saw a bunch of bureaucratic yes men, doctors, all of whom were talking about the need for more funding, the need for doctors to be paid more. I mean, you could really have to watch the hearings. And they read too. There was not an honest conversation. There was not an honest inquiry. There was not an honest debate. Nobody questioning the safety and efficacy of the mass mandatory vaccination program was invited to speak at that. It was a kangaroo court. And within days, you had Google changing its search engine results radically. And you had Facebook groups being dissolved. And the most shocking of all to me is books. I mean, this is the digital equivalent of Nazi book burning. For better or worse, mostly for worse, Amazon is overwhelmingly the number one source of books in the United States right now. And that's not going to change unless there's some antitrust. When you ban a book from Amazon, you are essentially burning the book. So this to me, it's the moral equivalent of Nazi book burning. Let's look at the studies. There are 35 different ingredients in vaccines. All kinds of stuff in there. How many ingredients have been scientifically studied of the 35 for their health, their health risks, health dangers? One out of 35 ingredients that are found in a typical vaccine. It's not just the vaccine. There's all kinds of preservatives and stabilizers and all kinds of junk put in there. 1 out of 35 has been tested. Of the 36 vaccines that children now routinely get, now I didn't get those. I think I got about 5 in my life. Now kids have to get 36, and I hear in some states it's being pushed up past 50. And now in Connecticut, preschoolers are required to get the flu shot as a grounds for attending preschool. I mean, this is getting really bad. So how did this happen? All right, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. People have been waking up, books have been written, films have been made, organizations have been founded, and the word is getting out that the vaccine industry and its products are not reliable and not safe, and they're not being regulated properly. And we know that because of the number of children who have been injured severely as a result of these products. So what does any good, corrupt business enterprise do? They hire lawyers, and they hire PR people, and they put their heads together, and they figure out how they're going to go on the offensive. And so here's how they went on the offensive. And I don't know this is how it happened, but this is how things are done. And once you understand the mechanism, you're not going to be surprised. So they went and found some idiot Congress people, always easy to do, especially when you bring them bags of money through the back door. And they got some guy down in Los Angeles to be the front man for this. He announced his grave concern, and there was a congressional hearing, and I just described that hearing. It wasn't a hearing at all. It was a bunch of idiots reading from press releases. Now, what stimulated this hearing? A supposed outbreak of measles, the biggest in decades in the state of Washington. Well, it's bullshit. Yeah, there's a measles outbreak in Washington state. It's not the biggest or worst one in the state's history. Statistically, a little bit more than previous years. That's it. And interestingly enough, a lot of the people who are getting measles got the measles vaccine. So that tells you right there how effective this vaccination program is. But they're using, so they what they did was they lined up an idiot congressman. They also made a hit list. You know, just like when you're going to go to war, you don't just walk in there not knowing where you're going. You have specific targets that were planned out months and sometimes years in advance. We're going to bomb this power plant and this bridge and this highway, and you just go down the checklist and do it. And that's what they did with people discussing vaccinations. They had a list in advance. They hired somebody to identify the books, identify the authors, identify the Facebook groups, and they had they waited for some kind of event. The event is this non-issue outbreak in Washington state. They got an idiot politician, the governor of that state, to declare a state emergency. They got the idiot news media to parrot the story unthinkingly. Then they got their idiot congressman to write a letter of concern, and then they got a bunch of congressional clowns to get together with a bunch of a bunch of paid stooges to just read scripts basically about how great vaccines are, and there's no problem, and no one needs to worry about anything, and just move along. And boy, we need these vaccines. We got to have them. So just days after that hearing, Google changed its search results. Search vaccination, see what comes up. Apparently there's a video up by a young 20-something-year-old woman that says, "I want more vaccines. How can I get them?" I mean, utter madness. Utter madness. So that's Google's role in this. Disgraceful, despicable. Facebook has decommissioned a whole bunch of groups, including a lot of parent groups, parents that are trying to deal with their vaccine-injured children. Well, those people are now, I guess, enemies of the state, and so their Facebook groups have been delisted. And then the most despicable thing of all, Amazon has removed books on the subject, films on the subject. And a lot of people have been caught in the crossfire. For example, we had an interview a week ago, or not even that long ago, with Carrie Rodriguez, the mother of a vaccine-injured child. And after spending over $1 million, she developed a protocol and has reversed her son's autism. And that protocol has been used in over 500 cases documented, where they have not just managed or treated autism, but actually removed it. And there have been thousands of cases of kids who have been assisted. Her book, which was the first attempt to put this protocol in print, has now been removed from Amazon. So it's war. It's war against you. It's war against your children. It's war against your grandchildren. It's war against your community. And we can count on the media to be involved against us. We can count on Congress to be involved against us. And we can absolutely count on Amazon, Google, and Facebook to be against us. And this is all in the service of an industry that manufactures a product. And they want special treatment. They don't want to have their product tested properly, and they do not want to have the normal product liability that other products, medical and otherwise, are subjected to. And that's not enough. They don't want discussion. They don't want discussion of the topic. And they have eliminated discussion from the topic. So that's what's going on. You will find a law firm and industry executives and a PR firm. If somebody is a journal, if there are any journalists left, this could be very easily just see who their PR firm is, just see who their attorneys are, just see who the bag man is for this congressman in Los Angeles, and you can put the whole thing together. But this is how these things happen. I've never seen it done with such sledgehammer effectiveness in my life. Even the promotion of all these insane and immoral wars have been, less professionally handled. But this was done very, very well. Anyway, that's my insight into this. That's the world we live in today.